Hey everyone, we're sitting down with Sunny Jain from Sun Genomics.
Hi Ellen, thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to talk about the microbiome.
And now we're going to be talking about how the gut microbiome affects our overall health.
Yeah, that's right. We now understand just how much of an integral part of our wellness and even disease microbiome plays. And these are microbes that are living inside our bodies, affecting our own physiology and potentially some of our own digestive capabilities, what foods we can tolerate, and even the likelihood of some chronic conditions like diabetes or arthritis or other gastrointestinal issues. IBD is a big one.
Yeah. So then there's something that is going on between the interplay of the food that we eat and the way that the microbes are interacting with that food that we're eating. And then potentially, like you were talking about, all these other intestinal problems that we can have and disease. So there's this whole interplay going on. It's very intricate.
Yeah, we originally thought, well, I guess I thought at some point through my education, I learned food was for myself. I kind of always thought of food as something I'm eating to fuel my own body. And in the last 5 years, we're now understanding food actually fuels our microbiomes as well, and the microbes in our bodies that then either can fuel us or have a different path and be potentially bad for us. And so you have to be careful about food in some way, because you're not only helping it fuel yourself, but you're also fueling your microbes of your body and your gut. And that's where the aspects of personalized regimens become much more important, because we need to understand what are the microbes in any one individual gut before we can get into that journey of what food is going to be best for us.
Yeah, and as we figure out how to individually maintain it to our personalized lifestyle, also in our personalized body, also we should understand like how to have a strong microbiome, how to have a robust microbiome. Are there specific ways maybe for like the general population as well that is a good way to have a strong microbiome?
Yeah, we learn this now, as studies come out about the evolution of your microbiome. You start to get microbes colonized and transferred from your mother at birth, and it begins to be your seeded microbiota. And over time, that microbe population matures, and it becomes more and more complex as we enter adulthood. And so just tracking that at the individual level and having time points for you becomes an understanding of what your personal baseline is. It's a very personal thing.
Yeah.
And so once you understand that personal baseline, then you can understand what a good microbiome is for yourself.
As you were saying that, I was thinking about the beauty of when the sperm meets the egg and then becomes an embryo and inside of a woman that's developing it, a pregnant woman. And then I was thinking about when the brain forms, when the heart forms, when the gut forms, and when that first gets seeded in to the child. And how exactly these timestamps, when you're 0, when you're 2, when you're 6, when you're 12, what exactly happens to the gut microbiome through those periods of time, and how can we understand that better? And it's literally becoming you, these microbes. Yeah.
It's amazing that there's this symbiosis between bacteria and human cells, and beyond bacteria, other microbes. This begins when we're age 0, and it stays with us through the rest of our entire lives. So we're just starting to understand that transference that occurs. And if something in that process doesn't go sort of the way that transference would be beneficial for us, let's say you have to take an antibiotic early on, or something disrupts transfer of some of these good microbes to our gut.
Antibiotics disrupt the good microbes. They kill good microbes.
Yeah, that's right. So they kill the bad microbes as well, the infection, but they're not very
targeted.
Targeted in that sense. And so they will kill the good microbes that were also transferred to you. And that's how we lose some of the good microbiome effects later in life. And we've begun to understand now that that first 1,000 years of life is so important to keep a nice, healthy microbiome. Otherwise, you run the risk of having some of these long-term allergies, asthmas, or even chronic conditions, and diabetes are now being associated with impacts that were made to your early microbiome. But it's not all grim. There are solutions to manage it, and one thing is to provide yourself with good microbes or probiotics.
I was going to ask, so what is the diversity of a diet that is kind of like known to be a good probiotics, etc.?
Yep, supplements are always a good way to boost a microbiome at some level, but then
and you guys have some supplements as well.
We do. So at Sun Genomics, we've got some precision probiotics, custom tailored probiotic formulations based off of what's going on in any individual gut profile. And through that, you can begin to manage your microbiome for the first time and actually take direct action. Beyond that, then you can also keep that constantly healthy, right? Thinking about what you do and eat throughout your day. Now the microbiome is with you in your daily lifestyle, and including your morning routine potentially.
Mm-hmm. And do people have to change their lifestyle or change their diet as well as taking the probiotic supplement?
You know, we feel that there's always an opportunity to make our diets better, but that recommendation's been around for years. I mean, you go to your doctor, and the doctor's going to you know what you need to do, Alan? You need to exercise and diet better. And I feel like I've been told that all my life.
Totally.
For us, and at least at Sun Genomics, we wanted to find a way to engage people into health and wellness that could boost their current lifestyle, right? And integrate with whatever lifestyle they have, from a diet aspect, from an exercise regimen that they're on, or types of supplements that they take. So whatever lifestyle that you maintain, we integrate with that so that we can just make that better.
And Sonny, what is the golden microbiome?
Great question. I don't know if we've fully understood what the golden microbiome is. But Alan, you have a golden microbiome, and I have a golden microbiome, and these golden microbiomes might be completely different. That's what's so interesting about the microbiome. Our DNAs are 99.9% similar. And there's very small variation there from human DNA. But our microbiomes, the DNA of the microbes, they're only 10% similar.
Similar?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's an interesting one. Because our whole lives we're told, oh, we're so genetically similar. But then where there's actually more cells, more bacterial cells, we're actually way more different in bacterial cells. Wow.
Yeah, and so your golden microbiome is going to be different than my golden microbiome.
Totally different. Wow.
And so we begin to explore that with individuals so that they can understand what their good microbiome is for themselves, but also think about it in the other way. We do know what are bad microbes, C. difficile pathogens, things that are going to cause inflammation in our gut. Those are microbes that we can detect now very quickly and take action on. And so let's solve for some of those bad microbes, if you will, as a beginning point, and work towards our own personal golden microbiomes.
Yeah, the difference is so crazy between humans' microbiomes, and then, like you said, the golden microbiome for each person is different. So we got to understand it. Yeah, what is dysbiosis?
Good question. A dysbiosis is a term that is used to describe imbalance. And so, like many things in the world, there is a balance, and our microbiome also has a balance to it. So there's good microbes, and then there's bad microbes. And they have a ratio inside of our guts at all times. And if that ratio gets thrown off from what is comfortable for us, that is a dysbiosis. So now you have a lot of bad microbes and not many good microbes to balance your gut health. And that's dysbiosis. And that dysbiosis can shift things for our human physiology. Shift things like create inflammatory bowel disease, create colitis, create diabetes. And so monitoring that and managing that becomes fundamentally critically important to our health now. And so microbiome testing, microbiome analysis early to prevent dysbiosis is important.
That's so interesting that dysbiosis is the opposite of symbiosis then. So then when your good health and your good bacteria and your bad bacteria are kind of at the same like level, that's more symbiotic. And when it's dysbiosis, when one of them is outweighing the other one, even if it's good outweighing the bad?
Potentially, yeah. Too much of good could also be bad in cases of things like sudden intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It's called SIBO. So if you overpopulate a particular microbe, it's taking up all the space.
That's right.
You only have so much space in your gut, and if one microbe takes up all the space, then you don't have the benefit of all the other characteristics of the other microbes, the digestive capabilities. And then that one microbe is going to release a lot of particular metabolites, and that's where it could be a little bit dangerous.
This seems like it happens a lot to the starving entrepreneur, because the entrepreneurs are usually eating whatever they can get their hands on. Sometimes that's not, that's the same food, sometimes it's unhealthy food. And so there's actually malnutrition and micronutrient deficiencies that happen across the world, where people are only eating maybe one thing every day because it's the only thing they have monetary access to, or even just food growing around them access to. So, so that takes up their whole microbiome then, and that's a lot in one, and not a lot of other diverse, like probiotics and other nutrients.
Yeah, we didn't realize how impactful the different types of macronutrients are to our microbiome up until the last couple of years, where all these studies have now shown, and a large body of science has developed called gut science, showing us how things like fiber can change our bacteroides concentrations and
like
levels.
It's good, right? Lots of fiber is good, or certain amounts of fiber are good?
Yeah, a certain amount of fiber is good, and that might change the balance of a high protein, high saturated fat diet that would feed bacteroides to feed what they call Faecalibacterium. The fiber can support these commensal organisms that are beneficial to our gut, and that can help prevent a lot of chronic conditions if we become more mindful about those things.
Yes. I still can't believe that our guts are 90% different from each other. That is so crazy cool to learn about, and now we're gonna explore more into what Sun Genomics does. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch another video of Sun Genomics soon.